Hi guys, so today I will be sharing my version of caramel dream cake. For the ingredients, we need 1.5 cups of sugar, 75 ml of cold water, and 100 ml of hot water. In a saucepan, we're going to combine the sugar and the 75 ml of water. We're just going to let this boil and turn into caramel. To avoid the sugar from crystallizing, cover the pot with a lid. Once the sugar starts changing color, keep an eye on it closely because the sugar can burn easily. So just keep on watching until you're happy with the color. Remember, the darker the caramel is, the bitter it is. So don't cook it too dark. So this is now ready. I'm going to add the 100 ml of hot water. Be careful because the hot sugar might splash on you, so be very careful. And then we're going to turn off the heat, and then we're going to transfer this into a heat-proof container. This will thicken as it sits. So now we're going to prepare our caramel custard. 5 egg yolks, 60 grams of butter, the caramel that we made, 1.5 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 50 grams of corn flour or cornstarch, half a cup of cream, and 2 cups of fresh milk. So process is really easy. We're going to combine everything in the pot except for the butter and the vanilla, but I added the vanilla here, so that's okay. Add the corn flour as well. Add a little bit of the fresh milk just to mix the corn flour. Add the cream. This is in no particular order. And then the rest of the fresh milk. Finally, we're going to add the caramel. Now we're going to move to a stove with the heat setting low heat. This might take a while to thicken up, but just keep on stirring. Make sure that you're stirring at the bottom. Add the salt as well before I forget. Like I said, it takes a while for this to thicken up, but it will thicken up. And once the consistency is like this, take it out of the heat. At this point, we can add the butter. And then we're going to transfer this into a heat-proof bowl. Cover the top with cling wrap, making sure that the cling wrap is touching the surface of the caramel custard, so the custard will not form a skin. We're gonna let this sit in the fridge while we move on to the next stage. 7 egg yolks, 3/4 cup of sugar, 3 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of vanilla, half a teaspoon salt, 50 ml of vegetable oil, 3/4 cup of water, and 2.5 cups of cake flour. Combine the cake flour, salt, and the baking powder. Give it a quick mix. Set this aside, and we will sift this later. So whisk the egg yolk. To this, we're going to add the vanilla and the sugar. Continue whisking this until the egg yolk mixture is light pale yellow. Just like so. And then add the vegetable oil. By the way, at this point, your oven should be preheated at 170 degrees Celsius. Now we can add the water. Finally, we can sift in the dry ingredients. Using a spatula, mix the ingredients together using a folding method. Do not overmix the batter. You don't want to develop the gluten. So once everything is well combined, set this aside. We're going to move on to the meringue. Half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, 3/4 cup of sugar, and 7 egg whites. So beat the egg whites. It is important to use a glass bowl or a stainless steel bowl just to make sure that there's no grease onto the egg whites. I added the cream of tartar as well. And then once it is frothy, gradually add the sugar. For the meringue to work, make sure that there is no egg yolks in the egg whites. Then continue whisking this until we reach the steeping stage, just like this. And then we're going to combine the egg whites or the meringue into the egg yolk batter in 3 addition, again using the folding method. Be very gentle when you mix. We don't want to deflate the air from the meringue. It is better to undermix the mixture than to overmix. Divide the batter evenly. We're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 170 degrees Celsius for about 30 to 35 minutes or until when you insert the skewer in the middle and the skewer comes out clean. For the ganache, we need 150 ml of cream and 290 grams of white baking chocolate. But this is optional. If you don't want to use ganache in the cake, that's fine. So we're just going to melt the white chocolate in the microwave for about 1 minute using 30-second interval. So every 30 seconds, take it out of the microwave and mix. Set this aside to set a little bit. And this is what the cake looks like. You can do this process once the cake comes out of the oven, flip it upside down so it doesn't sink in the middle. So while that is cooling down, I'm going to melt about 150 grams of dark baking chocolate in the microwave as well or in a double boiler. And then I'm going to spread this in a parchment paper and spread it thinly. This will be the chocolate shards. Once the chocolate is not shiny anymore, use a knife to cut the chocolate into shards. Or if you want, you can just break the chocolate. Now we're ready to assemble the cake. So this is the ganache. The ganache is not fully set yet, but this will do. It will harden as it sits in the fridge. So spread the ganache thinly. Don't put too much. And this is the caramel goo. I'm gonna put this in a piping bag. Add a generous amount of the caramel goo on top. Then using a spatula, try to even out the goo. And then now add the shards randomly. So I've melted some more chocolate and I have caramel on the other bag. So just drizzle the chocolate sideways and upwards. With the caramel, it's either you can buy or you can make your own caramel. I'll put in the link in the description box on how to make the caramel syrup. And this is the finished product. I hope you give this a try. This is really good. I know that you will enjoy tasting this. And just to show you what it looks like. By the way, with the amount of sweetness, you can adjust the sweetness. You can decrease the sugar if you like. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!